Did you guys hear that? Did you guys just hear me talking or no? But what I was saying is, did anyone get notifications? Because on my phone, I was on another account and I didn't get any notification about this. And from my numbers, I'm kind of thinking I'm not getting notification. I didn't think so. I mean, my numbers lately have been like atrocious. And I'm looking and I'm not getting notifications. I'm not even getting notifications about shorts, anything. It's weird. You did? All right. At least you guys got one because I haven't gotten any. I've get them on my other channel. I haven't gotten them on this channel. Even my shorts went from like a couple of thousand down to like 200. It's strange. Well, I'm glad you guys got one. And I want you guys to know I just got suckered into YouTube Premium. So if anyone has ad blocker on their computer, you're going to get sucked into YouTube Premium. So it used to be where I watched something on my computer and I didn't have to worry about commercials. Well, YouTube caught on to ad blocker, and now they updated their software that if you have ad blocker, you can no longer watch YouTube unless you have YouTube Premium. So I got suckered into YouTube Premium. Nice, YouTube. Nice. So let me say hi to everyone. What's up, everyone? Kendra, Rick, Bonnie, Crystal, Cindy, Bula, Sly Angel, Miss Robin, Peggy, Joy. Joy, did you get your package? L, Resident 12. That's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Innovative name. I like that. That took some thought. What's up, my Bonnie Boo, Teresa Ann, Joy, Amber, Cindy, Allie, Masonic, Amanda T in the house, Cool Gamer, support with Steffa. Let me give you the link. All right. Rick. I think I got everyone. Oh, wrong Joy. All right, my bad. All right. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is wrong Joy. 4,000 on vehicles parked at an Air Force landing strip. Drone footage. Where, in Israel? Hey, Heather. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me open you guys up on YouTube. Make it easier. All right. And don't forget to hit that like button. All right. So let me get into this a little. As you guys know, I have not followed the Delphi case like most people have. I really try to stay away from kids for a long time and anything with kids for a long time. So the Delphi case obviously had to do with kids. So I really stayed away from it. But I know that, it's big case, everybody talks about it, but I have a Patreon who follows it like I did Making a Murderer. Like she knows everything about everything. And I was asking her on Patreon that, I recently saw a big creator, I can't remember which one, but a big creator speaking about the cult. So that kind of got me interested in the whole cult thing. So I asked her, and she was at court last week, Steffa.
Oh, I guess I should unmute. Yep, I was there on Thursday.
All right. So she even went to the court proceedings. So she said, there's so much I got to tell you. So I said, okay, that's what she said, President 12, is that, there's so much to say and so much that, went on in court. So the fact that she's here, she's going to tell us all about it, is more insight than somebody just speaking about it, because she was actually sat in the courtroom. She knows what's going on, and she's followed the case diehard. She also has a channel, Support with Steffa. Mods will drop her link. And she goes into intense detail about the Delphi case. So here we go. And Steffa, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I haven't been here forever.
I know. You've been busy. Busy.
Yes, busy. That's what we'll call it, busy. Oh, crap. Let me get out of here. Okay. So, some people don't even know about the case, so I'll just give a real quick,
Sounds good.
Okay. So these two girls, Abby and Libby, they were 13 and 14. They were off school on February 13th, 2017. It was they were off, all the kids were off in Delphi, Indiana, because they had like an extra day because they didn't use all their snow days. And they had like a trail. I've been on the trail several times. It's like a trail that it's like, I don't know, quarter of a mile long. Like you would just go like on a little hike. And it's just a little town of less than 3,000, safe. Nothing happens there, no murders or anything like that. And the end of it ends in this bridge, this decrepit bridge. But, all the teenagers go there to say, oh, I walked across the bridge. I did it, whatever. So it was going to be Abby's first time. She walks across the bridge, or they walk across the bridge, and they just happen to take a Snapchat. Libby does of Abby at 2:07, and it pops up on Snapchat, and they walk across the bridge. Now, I'm giving you what we know because law enforcement's been, they don't say much.
Okay.
So that's 2:07. At 2:13, Libby at least knew that something was wrong. So she started filming this guy that was coming toward them on her phone, and they show a little bit of it, of him, and share it with the public.
Let me stop you right there for a second.
Yes.
Being that they have the footage of quote unquote Richard Allen walking on the bridge, doesn't that wipe out the whole cult thing?
Or was it Richard Allen? And have you seen it? It's like very, very blurry.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's Richard Allen. And Richard Allen was not charged with the murder. He was charged with felony murder for getting the girls down the hill. So what he does is he says, guys, down the hill. And you hear, like, according to the affidavit, you hear a click of a gun, and Abby goes, gun. And that's all we know. There was 43 seconds, supposedly, of this, of the tape on Libby's phone. Okay, that's all we know. We don't know if there's more. We're just going by what law enforcement said. They have lied, and a lot, they can say whatever they want to the public. And that's what we know. And then the girls are found the next day on February 14th, on Valentine's Day, across, there's like I want to call it a creek. It's called Deer Creek. But at that time of year, it's like rushing water. It's obviously freezing because it's February, but it's pretty rushing, and it's probably about 3 feet at that time in different areas. So it's across the creek in this guy named Ron Logan's land. It's flat, and you would have thought they would have been seen that night her dad, Libby's dad, came to pick them up. So that's
hold up. Another question.
Yes, ma'am.
The police believe that that guy walking on the bridge was Richard Allen, right?
They
That's
say it's Richard Allen. I
okay.
have followed this case intensely since 2000. I'm not one of the OGs. I'm one of the OGs at 2000, and
Okay.
never heard of this guy. Um, and there's a lot to that because this guy has never been arrested before. He has a daughter that's got married in 2017. Um, Lives in Delphi, about a mile away. Works at the CVS in the town. Um, People say he's a nice guy, but you know how that is. You
Okay.
never know. However, he hit the week before he's arrested. The or the week after he's arrested is the election for the sheriff. So there was a lot of pressure to have an arrest.
But didn't he confess to his wife?
Oh, yes, his wife and his mom. But how was it said? This man's been in like locked in a jail cell for at that time, well, it was from November, not a jail cell, in prison. He's in prison because they put him in a prison by himself. So he's like in 23 hours in this prison cell. So that was in October through he confessed I think it was in on April 3rd, I think it was. Um he's losing his shit. Excuse my language, but he's, you can only, I'm a nurse, and you can only keep somebody confined without other people, without them losing it. They say 24 hours and somebody will start losing their shit. Okay. They don't say it. That's not the technical nursing term, but you don't want to keep people, by segregated like that. Now they're saying they're doing it for his own good, but normally you go to a jail and you wait for your trial. He's in prison, and that's because Carroll County, being a small county, they're saying they can't protect him in the small jail, so they're sending him to Westville prison, which is like the worst one, for his safekeeping. But wait till we get into Odism, and we'll get into some of the prison guards
Okay.
and Odism at the prison. Okay, so keep that in mind. But you being in, because you worked at an attorney's office, correct, Laura?
Correct.
Have you ever heard of that being done on sending an accused person to the prison before trial?
No, but I can see if the town is very small and the jail is not equipped with holding pens, I can see them putting him in a prison and keeping it segregated because he's not convicted yet, so they can't put him in general population.
Right, right. Wouldn't, but I would think they'd put him in another jail that would be close by. Just my thoughts, but um anyway, so about the confession, so he had been in segregated from October till I think it was April 3rd. Um and we don't know the context of how it was said. We don't know the tone of what it was said. We don't know. We don't know if he was like, yeah, 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 I killed the girls, or I killed the girls, or how it was. We don't know anything about this confession. And because people confess all the time. And so when I heard about the confession, I'm like, that's it. He is um he's guilty. That's it. I have every week I change my mind, literally in this case. Um and Oakham's razor, she said, whoever Oakham's razor, oh Jesus, just stop. It's recorded. Well, honey, just keep listening. So, yes, it is recorded. I don't play games. Oakham's razor. I'm not one to be easily swayed, but after everything that has happened, I'm pulling my hair out because I just don't know. And I have followed this case. I thought for sure I know who it is. I'm not sure. I don't think Richard Allen did the actual unaliving. Can I say murder here or no?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't think he actually did the murders because they did not arrest him for that. They arrested him for felony murder, which was for felony murder in Indiana you have is for the because he didn't actually unalive them or murder them. He abducted them, which then resulted in their murder. So when this all went down, Doug Carter, who's their ISP, Indiana State Police superintendent, he has said that there are, well, his way of saying there's others involved is it is a how did he say it, many tentacles. And then the prosecutor, McClellan, said there are other actors. We think there are other actors. So please continue to send in information. This is after Richard Allen has been arrested. The prosecutor is saying, please continue to call the tip line. We think there are other actors involved. And he said he didn't even want the affidavit for the search warrant. The search warrant to actually be released to the public. He wanted it hidden. So there's all this quiet. Nobody would say anything. So we had not heard how the girls were actually killed until this Frank's motion came out 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that's where we found out about the Odin thing. So as far as we knew, the girls died. We don't know how they died. We just know they were found the next day.
Okay, now President 12 said girls' bodies were found like 2 tarot cards, the Hangman Odin and the Magician Loci, whatever that means.
Yes. Okay, so we'll get to that. Do you know what runes are? Let me kind of, before I go on, and we'll get into the Odinism, but they have, how they were saying the musician or magician, that is like in tarot cards. So runes are kind of remind me of Terra, how they have the symbols. So they're like ABC. I don't want to say ABC. They're symbols like you would use in a symbols that you would use for praying to Odin and your different gods. And how can I explain it? They could use them in rituals and for planting. I'm trying to think how I could. I'm sorry. Paganism. And it's a paganism, heathen Norse type religion, and they do I'm trying to think. What's the word? Like if in witchcraft you would do. I'm trying to think of the word. What would you say?
Wiccan?
Like in Wiccan, you would do spells. Okay, that's kind of what it reminds me of. And if you want to pull, I don't know if you want to pull up what runes look like, because the girls' bodies were found with what they said with runes on them. When I say runes, runes are straight lines and angles like an alphabet, and the bodies had tree limbs on top of their body that were supposedly representing these runes. That is part of this Odinist praying to Odin. So the rituals, I'm not sure that it was Odin, but it could have been, in my opinion, any of these secret groups, because like she was saying, the magician could have been, yes. See how it was hard for me to explain? Yes. So see how there's that, the F on the left-hand side? Keep that in mind, because that ends up being what they thought, or people thought, was on the tree where Abby's or Libby's body was found. It had Libby's blood in it. That's true. We know. But whether it looked like an F, people thought it looked like an F. So it was not supposed to be released. This crime scene photo, okay? So there was a gag order, so nothing was supposed to be released, any information released, including how the girls died. And so that's what I wanted before we get into the runes. I just wanted to show what runes are. So when I go into what happened to the girls in this Frank's motion, you'll understand what a rune is. Does that understand?
Yeah, but here's my question though. And Occam's razor, if you think you could do better, you're more than likely to take a link. What you can't say that the cult thing is not real because you just don't know. None of us do. We just don't know. So whether I believe in it or not, who knows? But I mean, at this point, I don't know enough about it. But don't say that you know for sure that it's not true when you don't know. And if you think you know definitively, then grab a link.
Yes, and please, if you know definitively, please let us know, because we would love to have your expertise so we could send that into law enforcement. That would be great. I don't believe. I mean, when I heard, if you read this, as a normal sane person that is strictly by the book, you would be like, what the hell is this shit? But when you go in and you read this stuff, that how they back it up, they have these guys' names and why they have their names. They have the murderers' names listed in a court document. Now, before before the defense could put those names and this theory into the court document, we have to remember that they don't just make this up. This comes from, their information is coming from the prosecution. They get their information from the prosecution. They can see things differently than the prosecution. But at one time, this information was in the prosecution's hands. And the prosecution did not release this information to the defense until September of this year. They held on to that information. They did not want the information to come out. This I just found out today. They didn't want the defense to have this information. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but who came up with this theory about it was Richard Allen that came up with this theory?
No. So it all started, let me get to this affidavit, which will explain it a little better than I can, because I'm just an everyday person. Okay, so now that we know what Odinism, it is a religion. Let's start there. Odinism, and they worship Odin. It is a Nordic religion, and they worship a god named Odin, and it's more like that you would have like in Norway, Sweden. I'm trying to, and these Odinists seem to be a skinhead type group, like they are supremacist. Okay, so we got that. They're supremacist. And there was, when this first happened, okay, Becky Patty is Libby's grandmother, and she was raising her. Libby's grandparents were Libby's. I gotta stop looking at chat because whoever that person is driving me crazy. The defense came up with it. Okay. Anyway,
hold on. The defense did not come up with it, Occam's razor. That's not who came up with the theory. Even I know that, and I haven't even followed the case that much. But they're not the ones that came up with it.
Okay. So anyway, The Becky Patty, when the girls first passed away. Let me go to page. It's on page 50, Stephanie. So when the girls first passed away, Becky Patty had asked. She was talking to a trooper by the name of Trooper Purdy, Purdy, and there was a group of what they call the Unified Command, which was a group of ISP, FBI, and Carroll County and City of Delphi, um, like a group of them that were investigating the case. Okay.
Okay.
And so when I say Unified Command, you'll know who I'm speaking of. And they are the ones that were investigating the case. So let's start there. So this, I'm getting my notes out. Okay. So the Becky Patty had asked Trooper Purdy if they had looked at Odinist named Brad Holder. So Brad Holder is an Odinist, I just said, obviously, and his son Logan was dating Abby. Okay, it's all over Facebook. It's not like it's
Okay.
any, like, this is a given. So Brad Holder was dating Brad Holder's son Logan was dating Abby. So there had been this, she had asked about this Odin thing that was just happened to be something that happened. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. That started just the question. Okay. So that is one thing that to keep in mind, that this was not, this was a family member asking. So that is something to keep in mind, because this was not coming up with some call in from the tip line. This was actually a family member that asked that. And it wasn't even about her own daughter. This was about the other girl. So I don't know what information she had, but she had asked about Brad Holder. And they had the information, had interested this Purdy. So he talked to Holman. Holman was part of the core group that were actually investigating the case. So he was one of the I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm getting nervous, so I apologize. He was one of the Unified Commander people. So he had brought Trooper Purdy had brought it to the attention of Holman, and he said he had already had run this information by Holman, or Holman had said they already ran this information and had run the stick formations that were on Abby and Libby by a Purdue professor that studied Odin at Purdue. Purdue is in Indiana. That's where they live. So that was the first thing. So when this is going, the defense asks recently asks the prosecution who was the Purdue professor, and they cannot give them a name. Okay, this just happened. That's in this document, but I'm not going to look for it because it's 136 pages. So Odinism, so they were saying, he was asking, okay, Purdy's saying, what is Odinism? And he was saying it's a cult worshiping type of group. And so then they start talking about the other people that are Odinist and that were there that day. Okay. there was a guy named, they said, Elvis Fields. Elvis, like the, Elvis. And they're naming these people inside of in this document. So these people's names were obviously provided by the prosecution. You can't make up people's names and situations unless at one time the prosecution was investigating these people, or somewhere this had come into their investigation. Just so people know, you can't just make up names. That's not how it works. You have to get your discovery from the prosecution, and then you figure out your plan of attack. And so these names in Odinism were in here. So we got Elvis, we got Rod Abrams, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall. Patrick and Brad supposedly were really good friends, and Johnny Morris. Okay. Elvis, he was a little bit slow. And Elvis, a couple days after the murders, goes to his sister and says, "Hey, I joined a gang. I got initiated, but we had to kill these girls at a bridge." And he said, "But now I got new friends. I'm in a gang." So his sister obviously knows what just happened. This is all over, obviously, Delphi in the world. And so she goes to law enforcement. And obviously, law enforcement wants to do a polygraph to see if this lady is crazy. And she does a polygraph with a lady by the name of Stephanie Thompson. And so Stephanie Thompson does the polygraph, and the lady passes. Okay, she passes that she's telling the truth about her brother Elvis telling her. Now, whether Elvis lied to her, we don't know. We just know the information that Stephanie had passed the lie detector test. So Elvis went in for an interview, and when Elvis was getting out of the police car, because the police brought him back to his house, he was getting out of the car, and he asked the officer, "If my spit is on one of the girls, will I get in trouble?" And that was his words. So that was one thing, okay? Then,
But while you were reading, I was looking up the symbols.
yes.
Okay.
All right. Then,
Hold on. Okay. So these are the symbols they're talking about. This one and this one. And you're wondering why I'm picking those two out. Because this is what was over the bodies. But this is not slanted. The symbol for Odin is slanted. This is straight across.
Those are different. I'm gonna send you an actual picture if you want. Well,
yeah, send it to me.
A real picture that this YouTuber. Well, the reason I hadn't sent it to you is that we haven't got there yet.
Wait, hold on one second. Voodoo, then take a link, because you're not going to sit there and disrespect panel guests because you have a different opinion. If you think you know so much, then come take a link. But this isn't Queen Bee's chat. You're not going to just disrespect panel guests. Plain and simple. All right, go on.
Oh, let me clarify. This is not my opinion. I'm just giving the information about what has happened with this Odin thing, and that I went to the thing on Thursday. I went to the hearing. That's all. I'm not saying this is my opinion. I'm saying this is what happened. This is just what's in the that's in the Odin. They call it the Odin report, and how it was, and that I went to the hearing on Thursday.
Okay. Voodoo took a link. What's up, Voodoo?
I just disagree a whole
bunch. I can't hear you.
Voodoo said she disagreed, but no, Voodoo, this really is a Frank's motion that was sent in by the defense.
Sorry, I forgot
You
something
can
else
go
going on
on
because I'm a doofus. Can you hear
go
me now?
on Indiana's
Like that.
CaseNet. Just go on Indiana's CaseNet and you can see it for yourself.
No. That's not what I disagree with, hon. And I'm sorry that I was disrespectful. It's just when you mispronounce Occam's razor, it's Occam, and then when you were calling it something else, when it's Odinism, and that was frustrating me. Like, know what you're talking about and know how to pronounce it, and that's what I was frustrated with. But the other thing is, this isn't Odinism isn't a cult at all. Like to classify it as a cult is completely wrong, and that's what people were doing in chat. And I just wanted to explain this is completely separate, and they've taken. I'm pagan, by the way, so but I'm not any kind of Nordic religion. However, um, you have to sort of separate the tarot cards from the Odinism. They are completely not related at all. They're completely separate items. So to put that together and try to make it a cult is completely wrong.
No, but
I
what she was saying is that people look at Odinism as a cult. So that's what she was giving background to people that may not know how it's perceived. That's
okay.
what she was saying. She's not giving her opinion of what it is. She's saying what people are perceiving it as. Because
And on
I'm the one that, I mean, every single place you go, I could show you on a million different channels. It says the cult of Odinism, the cult
it,
of Odinism, the
may
Can
cult.
I
I
answer
say
forever
something?
trolling? Forever trolling. I was the one that used to be on Sweet Teas, and you have me blocked on even Discord. I tried to message you the other day.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm Amy. I'm Voodoo. I'm the person that.
Amy, let me say something, please. What I'm saying
Yes,
is, please, somebody, let me speak. What I'm saying is, if you go to the actual Frank's motion, they call it the Odinite /cult. I'm on page 51. That's what they're calling it. And I'm going over the actual Frank's motion. And I think that's where you're
can I
missing.
ask a
I'm not,
question?
I don't care if they're what the call, if it's a call or not. I'm just trying to go over the Frank's motion so we can get to what happened on Thursday.
But
That's
I
all.
think, okay, I think that people are confusing a cult with a cult.
What?
Um, do,
What? You're talking
do
about,
you know what I
yes,
mean?
yes, I know what you
Okay,
mean, but it doesn't matter. We're not even talking about religion. We don't need to talk about tarot cards or whatever. Let's
but we're
just finish
talking about
the.
how the
Oh my
sticks
god,
were laid in this picture.
that's not the
We're
actual.
literally
That's
talking
not
about
her
that.
picture. This is a video that I pulled up from somebody that said, um,
That's
the
yes,
sticks and
Because
stones
yeah,
did a
that's from
video.
the
we're bringing up.
Delphi
You
and
guys were
Bart.
bringing up the runes and everything, and so I just wanted to explain. I have runes, but they're not. It's
Would you
not
like to
tied.
explain it so we can move on? Go
No,
ahead
well, no, I
and give
don't want to
your.
take that time. I think a lot of things are being misconstrued. Like, is it A, is in the letter A, cult religion? Yes, and it's very white supremacist, but it is not occult.
This says just cult, no cult, just cult, cult. That's what it calls it
And
on
I think
page
that is being
51.
misconstrued in chat. It's not your fault, but
Okay, then why are
because
you
the
here?
words sound the same. I'm not trying to attack anyone, hon. I'm not. I just want to make sure that everybody has the correct information in chat. That's all. Yeah, she
But you're
invited me up.
telling
I
me
just wanted to
I'm
come up
stepping
and
up,
explain.
and I don't appreciate it because I'm just trying to get through this thing so
All
I can.
right, Voodoo. Thank you for coming up, Voodoo.
Okay,
Have a
and
good day.
Crystal,
All
My,
right.
I'm sorry if I was overstepping my boundaries.
You
I'm
weren't.
just,
You were
I'm
fine.
just like, I'm just trying to read the document for God's sakes. Okay, okay. In the document for everyone's reading pleasure, it says Odinite /cult. Okay, so that the Odinite /cult angle based had stick formations on the girl's body. Now remember, we don't know anything about how the girls died until this comes out um, in a Frank's motion. Laura, do you know what a Frank's motion is?
No.
A Frank's motion is when the defense is saying, you got a um, You went and got the judge to sign a warrant, and you didn't give all the information to the judge. So usually a Frank's motion is like 2 to 5 pages. So what the defense has done is they went in and they got it. They did a Frank's motion, but said, actually, let me tell you a story. So they start telling exactly what happened and how the girls were found. And so I was going to say that was in here so that I could show you the picture, but I didn't know if you wanted, I want to be careful not to be too graphic on your channel because it gets pretty graphic. So I didn't know if it was okay. Is that okay with you and your channel?
Fine.
Okay. So this is what happens is they are doing a Frank's motion, but they throw a curveball at the prosecution and says, hey, I know you haven't told the public in the past 6 years how the girls died, how they were found, nothing. But we're going to tell you. And that's what they did. And it was a shock to the world because we weren't supposed to know. So let me get there. They even made an index for this thing, like help you find your way. Okay. So the Frank's motion was just like 1 or 2 pages, I think, in here. And, oh, shoot. Okay. It's okay, Steph. I can't get it to pull back up. Hold on just 1 second. Open. Oh my gosh, it wants to bring up Shanann's autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Okay.
I'm like nervous, and then I might have pronounced a name wrong or whatever. So that then that when that lady came up, and I was like, wait a minute. New tab.
Patrick, most candles that were ordered are going out, except the ones that were ordered over the last 3 days, are all going out tomorrow. You should get notification. I've been working on them today. Wrapping takes forever. Where'd she go? We lost her for a minute. Thank you, Desiree. We lost her. The evil end of Satan. Yeah, I don't, Voodoo is saying a cult. She never said a cult. That's awesome, Gladys. Oh, Steph. Uh-oh. We lost her. Well, we'll take a commercial break. Let me text her. Hold on. Where you go, woman? Tugos posed as the 2 tarot cards mentioned, but not, I don't know, looking at this other video, I don't see that. I don't know, Patrick. What I keep finding it's all about Turtle Boy now. It's not even about Karen. It's all about Turtle Boy. Yeah, I'm looking to see if he has more. Okay. Oh, go. I've been talking. Send me the link. It's pinned. It's pinned. No, she didn't realize she booted herself. Hey, hey.
I'm so sorry. I've been talking. Like, hey. Okay. All right. Back to the memorandum. Oh, so this is where the girls' bodies get graphic. And I had to go all the way back. So I apologize for the wait. I've been talking though, like an idiot.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Typographic. Where are we at on page? Okay. The crime scene. So when the members of the search party found the girls, it was they had been missing for 22 hours, and they called the scene ghoulish. Am I pronouncing that right? Because I don't want to get in trouble. Was that ghoulish? That
Where?
ghoulish. Is that a
School.
G? Ghoulish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So Libby was found at the base of a tree. So there were 4 branches, and I'm going to send you this picture. And the creator that has this picture has seen the actual crime scene.
Okay.
So the crime, she made a drawing of it so that people could understand. So
Okay. Hold on 1 second though. I want to show you this.
okay.
This is the Hangman Tarot card. Neither one of them look like that.
No, and you can't go by his anyway. So let's pull up hers here. And I'm going to let me pull up
But
her design. A minute. True crime design. Okay.
even if you turn it right side up, it doesn't look like either one of them.
I got one that is actually looks like, well, what it is. And she said it was okay to share for Abby and Libby. So I'm going to share with you. Maybe if I can figure out. Oh, shit. I'm trying to think how I'm going to send this to you. Okay. I'm going to send you the YouTube.
Send it through Discord, not through the phone.
Oh, shit. Now, how am I going to do that? Because then I'm on my computer. Hold on. Discord. Okay. All right. Okay. I just sent it. Let me know if you get it. I don't know if it actually brings up that picture is what I want to know. You'll see it's a drawing.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
Okay. And that's why Libby is nude, but they cover her with, as you can see. So I'll let everybody see that before I go on, because it gets weird, because Abby is found in Libby's clothes. So that means they were both undressed. And then Abby is redressed in Libby's clothes, and then her shoes are put on too, because she had on skinny jeans, so she had to have taken off her shoes. And then her shoes had to have been put back on. So this is where they say these rooms are. And this is by True Crime Design. Give her the credit. Okay.
I was just reading. I guess I'll read it out loud.
Okay.
This is a representation of the crime scene hand-drawn by myself based on the totality of my research and available information. Sharing this in an effort to keep the public engaged, asking questions and demanding transparency and accountability for all involved in the ritual. Fellow content creators covering Delphi have my permission to use this graphic in whatever capacity they wish. Just keep talking about it. Just saying their names. We cannot allow this kind of evil to walk amongst us. True Crime Design.
Okay. So Libby is on the base of a tree. Okay. So, and then she's got the 4 branches on her. And then, like I said, Abby is on the left, and she's got Libby's clothes on. So, that means she was undressed, and she had skinny jeans on, because you can see her in the Snapchat. So she had to have taken off her pants with her shoes, because she wouldn't have been able to get her pants off without taking her shoes. And then she was redressed in Libby's clothes, and then her shoes put on, which I thought was so bizarre. And then Abby's phone is found, I think, under her. Let's see. Libby, okay, let me get to this. Libby's head was, okay, this is where it gets bad. Okay. So let me get there. Abby's feet were not, okay, this is the crazy part. Abby's body was clean. There was no blood around her. So if Abby's feet were clean, there was no blood other than the blood found around Abby's neck, where the murderers had inflicted the fatal wound, but very little blood was found. So on Abby's body or clothing. So there were just streaks of blood that were found on, or there were spots and streaks of blood found all over Libby's body. Libby's on the right. With the lack of blood on Abby's body and undergarments, they didn't understand. So the murderers appeared to have gone to great lengths to keep Abby's body and clothing clean from blood. So Libby's, they don't understand why Abby's she was kept so clean and Libby was not.
Did they ever find the other one's clothes?
So there are pictures that were leaked, but we don't know if they are valid. They were leaked about a year ago, and they were found in the water, like down, right, like it looks like they were thrown in and got stuck in like some tree limbs in the water. So the girls, I wanted to get to their actual wounds, if that's not going to be
But I mean, at the time, did they find the clothes?
They are, well, we don't know. They did, but they found the clothing, but we don't know.
How do you know they found it? And the reason, all right, let me give you a reason I'm asking. The reason I'm asking that is because you're saying that the clothes were clean, or that the other one's clothes were clean, was so clean, but maybe that's why they put her in the other one's clothes because her clothes were destroyed.
In the picture I saw, they were not. But I'm not sure if that is correct or not. So Abby was dressed in Libby's clothes, and there were no. Okay, let me look. Abby's clothing, meaning that she was likely murdered while naked. Okay, and then dressed by the murderer that after she expired, and the blood had stopped spilling from her neck because she had a neck wound, and she was killed. They were killed by a knife, but it was stabbing into the neck. But I think Abby's was, let's see. I'm trying to get past this rune stuff. They expected there to be more blood than there was, which they kind of hint that there might be another crime scene, but they don't say that. So this F that they say is painted with Libby's blood. So whether that's true, it could be. Some people say it's the blood spatter of like where her, like she was standing up and like where her neck was, that was actual blood spatter. Some people, and then they also say that it could be like they took her finger and made like an F. So whether what that F that you see, like that is like the Odin symbol and all. So there's these, that was the first thing to be leaked out, was this F. Now remember, there's a gag order, and let's see. There was a bullet. Okay, this is the bullet. Is the one thing they have on the thing they have on Richard Allen. Seems to be their big evidence. There was a bullet found with the girls. It's an unspent bullet, and it went through the chamber. So it has striations, but it was never fired. So, but they took it through ballistics, and they found his gun when they went and did had the warrant for his house. And they're saying that they can tie his gun into the unspent bullet. But a lot of defense attorneys come in and say you cannot, that the ballistics, because it's an unspent bullet, there's going to be a lot of defense attorneys that can take that, say that's just not even.
All right, I got a question. The man who leaked the photos committed suicide, and that's why Richard Allen's attorneys just
All right. Yes. Okay. So what happened? This is why so I was going through all of this. So this is the first thing. This is a gag order, and this came out a couple weeks ago, right? This pissed the judge off, obviously, because this was never supposed to come out, because it talks about how the girls die, right? And everything about the crime scene. Well, all of a sudden, YouTubers about 2.5 weeks ago, started getting crime scene photos. And what it is, it's a picture of a computer screen. So on the computer screen, it had you can see the actual images, and that's what you just saw when we just showed the picture. That's somebody drawing what they saw with the girls. So it has not got out yet to the public, so I'm surprised it has not leaked. So then this is how it happened. This guy named so Baldwin's office, that was he had two attorneys, so two different attorneys' office. His attorney Baldwin, this guy that had at one time worked in his office. I think they were buddies. Um, his name is Mitch Westerson, and he was giving he gave these leaked photos to a guy named Robert Fortson, and Robert Fortson became friends with Mark Robert, who had become started leaking information out to lots of YouTubers over the past 2 months, different kinds of stuff. Well, then Mark goes out and sends out these pictures to all these YouTubers. And Robert Fortson, who's the second guy, not the first one, Mitch, but the second guy, Robert, he ended up, when ISP figured out that he was part of the leak, he committed suicide on on October 11th. And that's why they had this big hearing on Thursday. So that's why I went to the hearing. I drove to Indiana to go to this hearing because it was going to be such a big deal. And we were going to find out how these leaks got out, because we didn't have these names or any of this information. All we knew was that this gentleman had committed suicide and he was part of this leak. That's all we knew. And so I got to the hearing, 4 hours early, because we didn't know if we'd be able to get a seat. And I saw Baldwin in there, and Baldwin brought his own attorney, because in case the judge was going to, fight him on letting him stay on the case. And then there's also his other attorney, Rozzy. Rozzy, they're both big-time attorneys in Indiana. Rozzy is the other attorney in another office who is certified as a death penalty attorney. So Richard Allen has to have a death penalty certified attorney because his case could possibly become a death penalty case. So the two of them, Rozzy didn't have, that we know of, was not part of this leaking from the office. The leaking came from Baldwin's office. Baldwin did not keep his records. We don't know if he purposely had them leaked, or if this guy, Mitch, really just had access to get into the computers. So, Baldwin comes in, he's going to fight this shit because he brings his attorney. I was there when he walked in. He was early. The prosecutor was early, and all the bigwigs showed up. Doug Carter, everybody that was on the team I was telling you about, the Unified Command Task Force, they were all there. And we waited and we waited and we waited, and we finally got into the hearing about, I don't know, maybe a half hour late. And then we waited and we waited and we waited. And Robert Allen's wife was 2 rows in front of me, and so was his mom. And they cried. I'm an empathetic person, but I have never been quite this empathetic. And I cried. I think most people in her row were crying, because she was just, it was so sad watching her. You can tell this woman believes her husband. And so then a security guard came and got her out of the room, because the hearing had not started, and had her come back, I'm assuming, to where her husband was, Richard Allen. And she, after the security guard brings her back into the courtroom, and when she's in the courtroom, or as she's walking in the courtroom, I thought she was going to fall, because she was so just devastated. So we knew something was going on. And she sat back down with her mother-in-law, and then Rozzy, the attorney, came in, told her to get her stuff with her mother-in-law, and they walked out. So we're going, what the hell is going on? Because we've been there, 5 hours. And then the judge comes in, says there's been a change of plans, and Robert or Rob Richard Allen no longer has counsel. They have withdrew, and so the hearing cannot go on. And I will have to find him a new appointed attorney. And all the people there, because I mean, I talked to people. I mean, Court TV was there. I mean, everybody was there. Uh, it was mostly Murder Sheets was there, like mostly YouTubers and people from the media. It was not very many people that were just spectators. It was one hell of a day. One hell of a day.
Okay, I have a couple questions. So,
Yes.
from what I'm reading and from what I'm seeing, the lawyers were dismissed because of this ritual killing thing. Now, a judge has to, whenever an attorney, like they don't take kindly to people firing their attorneys because they know the attorney knows the case, they've been on it, especially when the state's paying for it. So from what I'm reading from Associated Press, it seems that the prosecutor overseeing the case against Northern Indiana man charged with 2017 killings of 2 teenage girls has dismissed as fanciful a recent court ruling by the man's attorneys contending the girls actually died as part of a ritual sacrifice. Okay. I read that.
Okay, so they're saying that his attorneys, that he fired his attorneys.
I think I read it wrong.
Yeah, because that is not what happened. The attorneys came there to fight for him. Those attorneys, I mean, they've spent their entire lives for the past year fighting for him. I mean, you can see by all the time and effort they had to come up with this case, because like I told you, it's 100 and some pages, and I haven't even touched the surface of all the people. Yeah, we haven't even got to the prison guards of the Odinist that have been harassing him at the jail, and they are the ones that told him he had to admit to the killings or they were going to kill his wife and his daughter. So he's been, every time his attorneys come to the jail, he asks, is my wife alive? Is my child alive? So there's a lot of, there's so much more that I have not got to.
Yeah, but where is the proof of that?
Well,
see, cinnamon, that's kind of what I'm saying.
Because the prosecution, when this came out, the prosecution came back 3 days later and had the prison guards write an affidavit and said, we are no longer wearing our Odin patches. And we were not, we did not say anything to him about Texas Girl. Yes, I've seen my phone. So the Odinist, the 2 prison guards that are talking about had been wearing Odinist patches.
Okay.
And had been telling him that apparently that he has to not say anything about him being part of the Odinist, or they were going to kill his wife and child, and he had to admit to the murders. And that's why he kept asking about his wife being alive and his child. And so when this came out, the prosecution had to do something, and they had the prison guards write an affidavit and said, yes, we were wearing the patches, but we were not making him say anything, and we were not being cruel to him. So it was obvious that there were these Odinists that were there, and when they were wearing the patches, just like just like the Frank's motion says. So I mean, there's like a lot of things that that are in here that are true. I don't know. I mean, I can't prove that or disprove about these security guards saying what they said or what they supposedly said, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of things in here that they have proof of. So I don't know, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying that the man is guilty or not, or, but I know that a lot of things in here, like the people that he says did it, the days of the murder, the guy, one of the the guy Becky Patty had asked about, he has stuff on his Facebook about how it's such a great day, and the Odinist, their holiday is Valentine's Day. I mean, it's bizarre, all the things. I mean, I can't go through this whole thing, but I'm just saying there's so much that have happened. And the girl, remember how I told you that Elvis's sister had to take the that polygraph?
Yeah.
So last year, the Stephanie Thompson was her name. She was a law enforcement, and she ends up dead. Somebody killed her um, through they caught her house on fire, arson, and killed her and her daughter. I mean, there's these people that end up dead. They're It's bizarre. One of the guys that there were three men in here that are in here that were the ones that were following the Odinism theory back when this first happened, and one of them was part of the FBI. Well, he ends up getting killed at the detective. Yes, he dies as well. Somebody ended up throwing a bomb, like a, I forget what they call it. I have to pull them up. They throw like a some kind of fireball into the FBI building. He comes out and gets killed. There, I mean, it's bizarre. All these killings that have happened over this case. I mean, every day it's like some new shit show that I've never seen. I thought Chris Watts was crazy, all the different stuff, but this is bizarre, just bizarre. I don't
Okay,
know.
one thing that I did learn though, that the reason why his attorneys withdrew is because the stuff that was leaked would have cost them tons of money and sanctions.
Yes, that's
They
what.
had no choice but to withdraw.
Yeah, she was gonna send. She was gonna send stuff to the bar, is my understanding. They would get sanctioned to the bar. So I will send you what was said. I'm in this court TV segment. I'll send it to you.
And the original judge on this recused himself.
Yes, and that's in this. In He recused himself right at the beginning. He said it was too much. His family was getting death threats, and in this motion that I was just reading, he said in here it says that the the I can't speak. The detectives did not have probable cause to get the search warrant, and that's why this Frank's motion was put in the first place. In other words, it all needed to be thrown out. So yeah, it's a crazy shit show.
Let me take a look. Oh, you said you sent it?
I'm sending it. Hold on, right? I got to get it out of my. Um, okay. I'm trying to send it to you. Maybe. I'm trying to forward. Oh my god.
It was an unseasonable.
Forward. Okay, I just sent it to you, and it's the 6 minute and 6.5 minute mark.
You sent it on my phone? That doesn't help.
Oh shit, I forgot. Okay, hold on. I keep forgetting.
All right.
Oh my god.
A court may remove a defendant's attorney on the basis of gross incompetence, physical incapacity, and a word I can't pronounce, conduct. People Arquette versus Arquette. In the present case, Judge Penzian did not remove Hess for gross incompetence, physical incapacity, or contumacious conduct. Rather, it appears from the order of July 93, Hess was removed for conduct allegedly committed in other cases or outside the courtroom. As we concluded in People versus Johnson, Judge Penzian had no authority to remove defendant's court-appointed counsel. Put that volume down. That is annoying.
I'm trying to turn it off, and I can't figure out how to turn it off from my text messages come from my on my phone or on my computer, and I wish this person would really quit texting me. And I know that this person can hear me right now.
That's the case law that's quoted in this Richard Allen case. State of Indiana versus Richard Allen, the memorandum regarding possible disqualification or sanctions. So what I just read you is actually in case law that they used.
Okay, send me what you have because that's new.
This is from October 19th. I'll show you. Hold on.
I want to see it because I haven't seen that new one. I don't know how to, Amber. I can't stop the notifications on my on my Mac, can I?
Turn off volume.
I put it on mute, but obviously that mute doesn't work. Like I could never. I'm trying to get used to the mute to this Mac. I've never had a Mac before until last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Okay, send that to me because that's that's interesting. Does it say what you are sending me? Is it about this case or is it referring to another case law?
No, in this memorandum,
It talks about
it quotes case law, People versus Johnson, of what a court, and then People versus Delphi, when a trial court can remove a counsel and when they can't, which is standard case law.
But how could she have a hearing without it being public in her, because it was happening in her chambers without it being public record?
What do you mean?
She was having the attorneys in her chambers when this is all going on with us in the courtroom. She's in the chambers with the prosecution and defense, so all of this is happening without being
no, they knew ahead of time.
They came to fight. He came in there, he brought an attorney. If you read it, he brought his own attorney with him, Baldwin did, so that Baldwin brought his own attorney with him, this big time attorney, to the hearing because he wanted to fight if they were going to give him any crap for these leaked videos.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that there's no way they wrote this on the 19th, if the 19th is when court was. That was filed by Hennessy the morning of the hearing.
Yes, the morning of the hearing, yes. That's Hennessy came with Baldwin, and Baldwin came there to fight. I was there when he came in, and he was there to fight for his client. He did not want to give up.
Yeah, because he may not have been forced to do it at that time.
Correct. Him and the other thing was, why was, I mean, Rozzy, none of this was being what I'm saying is they went into the chambers and nothing was being documented in the chambers. In other words, if she was going to make him quit, which is what happened, she said either you quit or these are the sanctions that are going to happen. Then that should have been in public record, and it wasn't. It was done in her chamber, so that nothing. And again, whatever was happening. In other words, everything is hush hush in this case. They never ever want us to know anything. So the photos leaking, we'll never know. Everything is off the record. Always.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
This isn't new to the judge. The judge, whether they came in looking to fight, the judge knew this was happening.
Okay, but what I'm saying is the judge got rid of them or forced them to leave, and nothing is on record. So, in other words, we'll never know how the leaks happened, or nothing in writing. This is just what we know from our own research, from taking it back to Mitch, to Robert Forson that killed himself, and then to Mark Robert. So that's from that research, but we'll never know the full story. We'll never know how Mitch got the pictures. We'll never know when. We'll never know where. We'll never know the details, because everything is hush hush in this case. And that's just like this. That's what was supposed to come out at the hearing, but they kept it all hush hush. And that's exactly what happened. They put it behind closed doors so that we'll never know. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything is to be quiet. And that's okay. Did you get the hearing that I sent you? It's at the 6-minute.
Our cameras inside a courtroom in Indiana. Let's take a look.
We are on the record in State of Indiana versus Richard Allen, 08C01 2210 MR1. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. McClellan, Mr. Luttrell, for your patience. We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier this afternoon, the defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr. Allen. Mr. Baldwin made an oral motion to withdraw. I granted that oral motion to withdraw, and Mr. Rosie will be submitting a written motion to withdraw, I'm assuming within the next couple of days.
There I am.
They have confirmed with the court.
You see me?
Mr. Allen's financial situation remains static, meaning he is continuing to be entitled to appointed counsel. I will reach out to public defenders to make that appointment. As Mr. Allen is now without counsel, I've ordered him transported back to the Department of Correction. Mr. McClellan, I know that we have already scheduled a hearing in the Carroll Circuit Court October 31st at 9 a.m. I'd like to maintain that hearing if we can, please. I think at that point, we can have counsel appointed. I'd like to set a new trial date. Obviously, I don't believe counsel will be prepared within the next couple of months to try a case of this magnitude in January. So we'll set dates for the trial. I think we need to set a date as well for the suppression hearing that was filed now by former counsel. I have asked the attorneys to provide all of the discovery previously provided back to the state of Indiana.
How long does this go on?
3 minutes.
All right.
I know I entered a protective order on the discovery, and honestly, I don't remember when that was. I think it was in April of this year, perhaps, maybe sooner. But the attorneys have been ordered to provide all of that discovery back to the state. And if you would maintain that until such time as it can be turned over to successor counsel, I would appreciate that, Mr. McClellan. I've also asked the defense attorneys to cooperate with successor counsel. They're not required to do that, but I think that they will in the best interests of Mr. Allen. They're not required to provide any of their work product, but they will be required and have indicated that they will cooperate with successor counsel. So obviously, without counsel, Mr. Allen's hearing cannot proceed. I apologize that I know many of you have been waiting for several hours. I know, Mr. McClellan, you and your staff, and you had some witnesses here that came earlier to have the hearing, but clearly this is outside of our control. So is there anything, Mr. McClellan, that you'd like to state for the record?
No, Your Honor, I think we can address the other issues at the October 31st court date.
All right. With that being said, then, we are in recess.
All right.
So there we go. So I just think that we cover it up, don't know anything. Once again, in this case, everything has always been hush hush, everything in this case. Just my opinion.
Now, according to, hold on. Hold on. According to Court TV, Odinism confirmed in Richard Allen's prison.
More than 5 years later, Richard Allen was arrested for the murders. But he is claiming his innocence, and the defense has their own theory of the case. A group of white nationalists who practice the ancient Nordic religion of Odinism murdered the girls in a ritualistic killing. They also claim the reach of these local Odinists goes all the way to the prison where he is being held. Tonight, we take a look at this alleged Odinistic conspiracy from the scene of the murders to the suspected killers to the prison and the guards watching Richard Allen as we continue our investigation of the Delphi murders.
Take a lot of one. The defense is alleging all of this, who is making allegations as to what's really going on. My perspective, especially at this point of everything, actually all the time, truth of what happened to these two girls. And this is it's a horrific case. We know that. This is terrible, terrible what happened to Libby and Abby. The murder scene was strange. There were things at this murder scene that were a little bizarre.
Okay, now he's saying it looked like this, but that's not what it looked like at all, according to her picture.
Because when they have not seen the actual picture, the picture was only leaked to some YouTube people, and that had not come out yet that these pictures had been leaked. They were going by what they thought in the wording of this Frank's motion. It wasn't until it got out to the YouTubers, and like, remember how you saw that drawing? That was his way of making what he thought of what he saw of the actual photos. But then that's why that girl did a sketch so that she could show what was actually there without showing people the actual photo.
I'm confused. So what is this?
When this came out,
This was 11 days ago.
yeah, nobody knew about. He may now, but I'm sure he never saw the crime scene photo.
Who
they
video? I'm sure he has.
well, now he probably has, but when this came out, they were going by what was in that Frank's motion, by like the way it sounded. So then when people started actually getting these pictures, then YouTubers that were getting it, because it only leaked to a few, started making their own. Like you saw when we first came on, and that was Rick Snay's idea of what the crime scene looked like. It was like some stick figures kind of thing that you showed, and that's why I said, here, let me send you a better one. And that's when I send you the sketch.
But this is supposedly from the defense memorandum.
That's them saying this is what we think it looks like according to the actual Frank's motion. That's what somebody's saying, their interpretation from the Frank's motion. That's not somebody actually seeing the crime scene photos. The crime scene photos were never supposed to be out. These came out, they were leaked out, and they were never supposed to be leaked out. So nobody knew yet that there were crime scene photos leaked out, except for those that had received them. So 11 days ago, people didn't know unless you were one of those that received it.
What YouTubers received it?
I know Rick Snay did, as well as Murder Sheet and True Crime Design, and of course Gray. And those are the only ones I know of.
Now, what is this stuff?
Where are you at?
What Court TV is showing? Overnights in Westville Correctional Facility.
Okay, that's what I was going through. Was that
Oh, okay.
So okay, so they're talking about there's no way one person could do this. And I agree. One person. And they say it looks like they were placed there, not like because their bodies were like staged. So they were saying, what'd you say?
No, I said thank you, Kumi. Said this case has so many killers involved and the police messed up. Richard was on the bridge, spoke with an officer, then he admitted himself into a hospital for a week after the killings.
That I don't have confirmation on, that he actually went to a hospital. That I don't know. I've heard there have been rumors, and the drained blood is a possibility because they're saying that Abby had a long, slow death and there was hardly any blood over there. And that's why they make it sound like there are two crime scenes. And Kumi, do you think there might be two crime scenes?
Well, if there's no blood there and they were drained of blood, then yes, there had to be two crime scenes, or they had people, working to make sure that they gathered all the blood.
Gathered the blood if that was like a ritual and they kept the blood. So that's what, there's so many different different things that it could be. And see, there are also people that I think that could be involved that might be like a judge, not the judge that's mentioned here, but like maybe a judge that used to be in Delphi. I'm not going to say any names, but Kumi will know who I'm talking about. And that's all I'm going to say because this is your channel and I don't want to get killed and I don't want you to get killed. But they say that it does not look like they were dragged. It looks like they were placed there. So there had to have been more than one person. Like it doesn't look like it's been like the ground was disturbed in a way that they were dragged, is what somebody that had said that have seen the photos. So
okay. See, I personally, though, I have a hard time believing that Richard Allen fucking, that Richard Allen drained their blood. I have a hard time believing that.
I don't think he did it. I think his job was to just get the girls across the bridge. I don't think his job was to kill the girls.
They were
He's
already
5'4".
going the bridge.
He's 5'4". Abby or Libby was, 200 pounds. He was what, 100 and maybe 67. He's not that.
He looks pretty big here.
He isn't that big of a guy. So he really isn't. He's like 5'4".
This is the bridge they walked over?
No, that's him in Tennessee with his wife, the one on the left.
Oh.
And then he's in the middle, but that's when he had lost some weight in the jail or prison.
All right, on April 3rd, Richard Allen made a phone call to his wife, Kathy Allen. In that phone call, Richard Allen admits several times that he killed Abby and Libby. Investigators had the phone call transcribed, and the transcription confirms that Richard M. Allen admits that he committed the murders of Abby and Libby. He admits several times within the phone call that he committed the offenses as charged. His wife, Kathy Allen, ends the phone call abruptly.
Yes, that's true. We found that out in I think the May hearing. But we don't know the context that it was done. That's the thing. And we won't know until the hearing.
Yeah, but the questions are, if to prove that he did it or didn't do it, what are the details? What are the details of him doing it? Like did he know that did he know that their blood was drained? Did he know the details?
That's what we don't know.
I mean, if he knew the details that nobody else knew, then yeah, he's the killer.
Right. So let's go talk about these guys that these Odinists, since we haven't gotten that far. So let's talk about the Brad. We haven't talked about. We haven't even touched how the where the actual proof would come in. So like right now we're just talking about theory, but there's actual why they think that these guys, how it ever came in to thought. So in other words, I just told you a little bit about how the one sister went and had the polygraph, but we haven't talked about, or unless you want to get off, it's up to you.
Shortly.
Okay, well, we won't worry about it, but we never really got into where the actual evidence was of what happened, why they thought this came in, and why they thought Brad was involved, and what his Facebook posts were on which days, and the things that were said, and why, how, just different stuff. That was what they see as evidence. But we won't. I know I wasn't really, we did it last minute, so I'm kind of like scattered all over, so I apologize.
It's okay. Oh, President, I can't deal with her at all. I can't even watch anything she's on anymore. I'm like, I can't with her. She's wrong about everything.
Yeah, she thinks Juan Logan did it.
Coffin doctor. She's wrong about everything. Everything that she's ever discussed, she's been wrong about. Like, I seriously can't with her. So, person one's son was dating Abby Williams at the time of the murders. On February 17th, 17, the FBI interviewed person one at the Delphi Police Department. Person one said the following. Who's person one, though?
That's Brad. That's one Brad Holder I was getting ready to talk about. That was Logan's dad that was dating Abby.
All right. His son was 16 years old and a friend of Abby. Person one stated that he visited Delphi every weekend. I hang out with his friend, person two. When person one would go to person two's house in Delphi, he would bring his son. Person one believes that is when his son would contact Abby. Person one said he and his friend, person two, started a tribe of Astru followers. They had meetings at person two's house on Sunday and have 5 or 6 regular members. What does that mean?
That's their the Odinism. That's who their god is. Another name for their Odinism. Brad. They're talking about Brad. Let me pull the guy's name because they Westfall. Patrick Westfall was guy two. I just watched an interview with him and I asked him a couple of questions actually. So Brad, let me go back. So I'm trying to go through back and forth from Brad to okay. Brad told police that he went straight from work to the gym that day. Do you want me to go through this, or do you want me to? I didn't know.
Let's like summarize it.
Okay, well, so Brad's son, the girl's body. Let's see. It's kind of hard. I'm so discombobulated. So yeah.
What's the matter?
Do you know what the difference between a conspiracy theory and facts truth?
Stop looking at chat.
I'm sorry. I was just reading. Yeah, these are all theory. And this is the defense's theory. I'm just saying, okay, so Brad had the timing was very curious because a man that should be mourning the brutal death of his girlfriend had a meme about moving dead bodies that kind of got the curiosity of law enforcement, it said, and that was on February 14th. That was on his Facebook post. Okay, so that was one thing, and then when people started talking about it, then he erased the meme. So he doesn't. They were saying that it was a quick shout out to his Odinite buddies, and then thanking them for helping him helping him with the bodies. So that was. I need to go through this and have it ready before I come on. We'll do it a different day. How about that?
Okay.
Because I'm yeah, I don't.
To cover. I know there's a lot to cover.
It's so much. It's 130 some pages, and I'm there's so much, and I have so much in my brain that I have done. Thank you, Desiree. Because I've gone. I know it, but for me, I'm trying to get it out to you guys, and I'm thinking, oh, I can get this out to you, but then you need to know this to know this. I'm thinking, well, there was the Florida fires that happened with the 4 girls that were killed 3 months before them, and that comes into Westfall. That people think that he's involved. I mean, there's just so much. So
you gotta do it like a book.
I know. It is.
You take the important stuff and you don't worry about the other stuff, and you just read it you just do it like a story. But you have the beginning, this is the beginning, and then you have the middle, and then you have the end.
I know. It's just a lot. That Elvis guy said that they put, when he was telling his sister about Abby and Libby, he said that they put sticks and horns on Abby's head because she was a troublemaker. There's just stuff that, how would he have known that? You know what I mean? There was these horn looking things that considered
Richard
horn.
Allen wouldn't have known that because Richard Allen was not her friend.
Yeah, this is Elvis, the guy that he told his sisters, confessed to his sisters, and then she had to do the polygraph. That was one thing he was saying to his sisters about, Abby's head. There, like, how would he have even known about these sticks and what he thought that he was putting, like, that they were making horns because Abby was a troublemaker. Like, how would he have even known that? You know what I mean? Like, just, and then asking about, because he spit on the girls and wanting to know about if he'll get in trouble for that. Just all these things that it's like, what? I mean, how would he have known that they even put, like, horns on Abby with the sticks? Do you know what I mean?
But is that what the picture showed?
The pictures show horn. He puts it as, hold on. That's been a big controversy. Horns.
Like, do the pictures have horns
That's
in it?
what,
If not, then it doesn't mean anything.
well, hold on. The horns were on the first one that you had from, yes, she has horns. Thank you, Kumi. I didn't have the picture up. Do you have the first picture? I know they're on, what's his name's that he drew. The first one you did, Delphi After Dark. His had the horns, but I wasn't sure if the last one that I sent you had the horns. The one that the girl did the sketch. Oh, President, I've heard Dr. Gary Bricado as well as that nurse, and I have the utmost respect for them, but I still don't think it was Ron Logan. I met Ron Logan, and when I was there with my daughter. Do I think it's Ron Logan? I don't, and because they, yeah, there's, see the horns.
Yeah.
But do I think it's Ron Logan? No, because he was in jail for 18 months. They tried everything to get him to try to find something on him, and they could not get anything on him. They couldn't find anything incriminating. So do I think it's him? No.
So who's Elvis?
Elvis was one of the guys, the guy that I was telling you about that they say is a Odin, and that told his sister, "Oh, guess what? I joined a gang. We had, he's a little bit slow, and he's told them I had to go with these guys, and we killed these girls by a bridge." And that's when he said, "Oh, we had to put horns on Abby because she's a troublemaker." And then he asked the police officer if he found spit on the body, would he get in trouble? And then the sister is the one that had to take the polygraph to prove that what she was saying was true, that her brother had told her.
So once the pictures came out, why wasn't Elvis arrested?
The pictures just came out.
No, but I'm saying if Elvis...
Well, good question. Great question. Nobody was ever arrested. In fact, they just went back and re-interviewed these guys in just this August. And then released. Remember, the defense didn't have any of this information until September. Just this September.
And where's Elvis?
What do you mean? Nobody's been arrested except for Richard Allen.
But where is Elvis now?
They all live in that area near Delphi.
I mean, the fact that she has the sticks, that's pretty incriminating.
I agree. Kumi says Elvis had an attorney with him. Oh, for the August hearing. Or the August interrogation or whatever.
But even so, that's pretty that's pretty incriminating.
I agree.
What else did he say that matched up?
Let's go to somebody else.
Elvis is your killer.
I think we need to go to Brad.
No, I think Elvis. My gut instinct tells me it's Elvis.
You think?
Or
Well, we haven't talked about Brad, though.
You
Even
never-
Abby's grandma asked about Brad.
yeah, but I don't care about Brad. Brad didn't say that they had to put horns on her.
But we haven't got that far. Let's see. Okay. Where are we at? I don't even know what page we're on. Forgot. Oh, we're too close. Let's get to Brad. Here, pull this. You want to pull it up at the same time?
Pull it up.
This page. This okay. Let me send it in. Go send it in Discord, right?
Send it on Discord.
Okay. Go back. Okay. In addition to the yeah. Okay, so what page am I on? I'm only on page 6.
But I'm saying, what is this?
This is the Frank's motion that the defense filed where they told all the information. And this pissed the judge off. And this was one of the factors that the second thing that pissed the judge off that caused us to have the hearing on Thursday. Then until this was one of the things until the leaked photos came out. So Brad's Facebook. Okay. Let's go to the white. Okay. The white supremacy component that exists with Odinism.
Where are you?
I'm on page 6.
Okay, this is 6.
Okay. It says, in addition to the white supremacy. Where are you at?
I'm on page 6. I don't see that.
What the fuck? No, this is way, way further. This says 6 of 425. What the fuck? Hold on. Hold on. That's wrong. This brought me to 2 places. Hold on just 1 second. Let me take this out of here. Okay. Control F. Okay. It's actually, now this says page 8. Go to page 8, and it starts at the top, in addition to the white supremacy.
Nope.
What the hell? Okay, then go to, okay, then this must be this side then. Okay, go to page, why is it? I'm killing.
What title is it under?
Control F. I put in a holder, and it's on, this says, try 47. Oh, yeah, it's 47. I just looked at the bottom, found it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so in addition to the white supremacy component that exists with Odinism, there seems to be an additional dark demonic component to Odinism. Okay? So at least articles concerning Odinist human sacrifice. This is crazy. And imagery found on the internet, coupled with imagery and language found on Brad Holder's Facebook page. Okay, this is on his Facebook page, are to be considered. So they show the exhibits that were on his Facebook page. As you can see, law enforcement themselves wrote the words "painting by Brad Holder," Odin hanging from a world tree on the exhibit, so we can't see the exhibit. It appears to be something that law enforcement would have used as a PowerPoint presentation. So Kevin Murphy, who is a state trooper that investigated the Odinist angle, said this about the Odinism. It seemed to me to border an almost satanic type of worshiping sacrifice, but I really couldn't wrap my brain around it. Wait a minute. So then it has image on Odinism of a man hanging upside down in a tree where his neck has been sliced, okay, with blood dripping from the ground. That's what people are saying that happened to Abby, and that's why there was no blood.
Yeah, but there would have been blood around it.
Yet there was her blood. They didn't know where her blood is. There should be more. Her blood should be at the crime scene.
Not unless they took the blood and put it in like jars and shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what this is saying. So this is saying they hung him upside down, which is what they're saying possibly happened to Abby. And she did have her neck sliced, and so the blood was dripping to the ground, which the blood and this man's arms pose similarly to Abby's at the crime scene, and the legs are also posed similar, to Abby's at the crime scene. So, and his left leg is straight and the right leg is bent at the knee, which is how she was found as well. So these are on his Facebook pages. I mean, it's crazy if you go through all of these. So there is a image from a website with the Odinism of a man wearing the antlers. Crude way, and the sticks were formed like on Abby's head. Also resemble the crime scene in that the man's left leg is straight while his right leg is bent at the knee and placed under his left leg, just like Abby was found.
See, to me personally, it sounds like Satanism. This is like a satanic ritual.
It's bizarre. And if you read it, like people, it sounds so off, and it is so off. But then they bring this stuff in here. And then it's Brad Holder painted what the defense would call creepy serial killer looking image of a naked man hanging from a tree. Holder's painting is similar in appearance to exhibit 30 and 31, but we can't see it. That sucks, but he's making these paintings that are like Abby and how Abby's body was found. And with these, it's fucking bizarre. Okay, so there's this guy, Ryan Boucher, in Georgia, and he began piecing this Odinism thing together. Let's see. Okay. I forget how I need to go through these and go through it deeper and get on here.
It says the man's hands are not similar to the way Abby had been posed.
Oh, they weren't.
No, they were not.
Oh, I had it backwards. I apologize.
Yeah, it says it right on the bottom, the footnotes of 48. The man's hands were not similar to the way Abby had been posed.
Oh, in the footnote.
Mm-hmm.
Within a,
On the end, the bottom of 48.
I got you now. Okay. Forever, I saw that your post, and I used to think that too. But carrying a dead body, the weight like is so it's hard. You have to
Not,
have more
not
than
no blood. If they're basically hollowed out inside,
well, if they took the insides out, but they don't say anything about taking our insides out. I mean, they could have, but the body only has like 5 to 7 pints of blood, so that's not like a big amount that would cause the.
well, unless they took it for a ritualistic killing.
Yeah, see, we don't know.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about this Odinism, but I mean, that sounds Satanism.
I know.
Like take the blood of a virgin.
Yep. And see that, and this is his son's girlfriend. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. I just have so much going through my head, and there's so much here, and I need to go through it. I would have to go through each one so I could give you better detailed information with this stuff. I know the case. This stuff. Oh no, Kumi, LDS, no. The LDS has has nothing on these people. These people are off the chain. In fact, I watched one of the guys is Westfield. I just watched a interview with him and on Sleuth's channel, and he denies it. He he says he's Odinism and all that, but he says they don't do these sacrifices, that they go out and do these rituals with their runes or whatever, but that it's not any kind of satanic stuff. But he did say on there that he stopped being friends with Brad Holder because he found out Brad Holder went to church on a Sunday, and he told Brad, you have to pick either you can't be on the fence with two gods. Either you serve God that's in the church or you serve the Odin. So that's how they stopped being friends. I do know he did say that in his interview. And he answered questions like whatever people ask you straight up. He said, I don't care. I don't care.
What is this Purdue professor?
Okay, so the professor is the one that he was the one that when law enforcement first found the bodies, and they went to this Purdue professor who studied Odinism to see if he thought that this was Odinism in a ritual killing. So in the very beginning, they were already going down this angle. And so they went to this professor to ask him if he thought that this was a ritual killing. And when the defense went to the prosecution and said, okay, what is this guy's what's the professor's name? Nobody could give it to him. They said, we don't know, we can't remember. So when that came out, about what I think when this came out, then they came back like within a day and said, oh, this was the professor's name, because they looked so bad at saying, oh, we can't remember his name. And so the professor was on the fence about it being Odinism at that time.
Okay. Where did they get Odinism instead of Satanism?
Odinism is because of the runes. The way that the the sticks are on their bodies are supposed to be set up like the runes, like Hail Odin, like what they mean, and the like how how the the limbs are laid. They're supposed to mean something, and one of the limbs was actually sawed off, so they like it was not naturally there. Like, well, somebody could have sawed it off there, but it was actually sawed off by a saw. So that was strange that they had a sawed limb on what I think it was on Libby. And then when I was watching Steve, he's a prior homicide detective and CSI guy, he was saying that all the trees, anything, every living thing has DNA. So he said the trees, everything should have been brought into evidence, because if they found the saw, or they found they could have taken the DNA from the tree and then checked to see if there was DNA on the saw of a future suspect, or the future suspect's tree in their house, at their house, and for a future suspect. Well, they didn't take that until, like, I think 3 or 4 days afterwards. So that was another problem. And there were a couple evidence items that were not, the chain of custody was broken. There was a lot of different problems with the case that was sloppy, that people are worried that the person that really did kill them, if it was Richard Allen or whoever, that they're going to get away with it on these technicalities, because law enforcement, it was done by Delphi Police Department in Carroll County. And Carroll County is little, I mean, there's like little more than 3,000 people there. And ISP, they didn't want the extra help. It wasn't until a couple days later they had asked for extra help, although ISP was there with them and the FBI. But it's kind of a pissing match, is my understanding, with this case. And they called out, like, the first night, they would have found the girls, but they called off the dogs. I mean, just stupid shit that happened throughout the entire beginning of the case, where they made poor decisions that affected the case negatively.
Okay, but Kumi, what's motive? If you're going to tell me police are
Don't
involved,
know.
I need motive.
Don't know. Nobody. What's Richard Allen's motive? What's anybody's motive? Don't know. Don't freaking know.
Yeah, but Richard
Don't
Allen
know.
could have been paid off.
Yes. Agreed. That's my theory, that he was paid to do this, and he was paid to get the girls down the hill, in my opinion.
Paid
And in my opinion, I don't think they crossed that water. I don't think that the grand plan would be, hey guys, let's go through freezing cold water in February. I just don't think that was the grand plan. And plus, they were redressed. I just don't think, if they were, unless they undressed before they got across the water, I think dressing a dead body with that's wet, with wet clothes, would just be very difficult. It's just not, in my opinion. I don't.
You're assuming they got dressed after they killed her. You don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. But in one of the things that was in the beginning, it says why they think that she got dressed. They dressed her afterwards. I forget what it says in the beginning of this affidavit. But again, that's speculation.
There's a video out there. You see them screaming in a tree, putting water.
Oh, that's Greeno. Don't get me. That is him. That's Anthony Greeno. I don't. trust Anthony Green. He made that video. He also is the one when I went for my first time to Delphi, and he was there and he was telling me about Delphi, and he said, "Oh, oh yeah, there was a lady, or bridge guy went across the bridge at 12, and he met a lady that was walking her dogs, and she saw him and said hello to him, and then he went back across the bridge and waited for the girls at a bench, which was all bullshit. He made up stuff, so I don't trust anything he says." And I have other reasons not to believe anything he says, but that's another story. Yeah. But he made up a documentary, but it was all not I mean, his theory, which ended up being untrue.
All right, here's my thing.
Okay.
Richard, here's my theory on what happened.
Okay.
Richard Allen is the fall guy. Richard Allen was paid by people in the area to get the girls down there, maybe rape them, who knows. Richard Allen brings the girls where they need to be. Richard Allen takes off. There's a ritualistic killing because they need innocent virgins, and they set it up. Time goes on, nobody's getting, done. Richard Allen, they finally give him up. The people who did the actual killing point to Richard Allen. They plant the evidence that it's Richard Allen while they run free. Now Richard Allen's sitting in jail. Everyone's getting worried. So now they threaten Richard Allen. They say, if you don't say that you did this, you're dead meat. And Richard Allen is afraid, so takes the heat, tells his wife to take the heat off of them. The attorneys are not giving up. The attorneys are like, no, this is not right. We are going to prove otherwise. And that's that. So that's what's happening.
Girl, that's my theory, but I wasn't allowed. I didn't want to say it on your panel. That's my theory today. I change all the time, but I think that there might be some higher people in the area that that might be like a judge, and that judge might have like signed some like search warrants like a couple years ago and stuff, and he might like own a strip club or something, and he might like have gotten in trouble for
and I'll be honest with you, I have not ever watched a single video on this case.
That's what I'm talking about
tonight was from your information and the information that I'm reading and Court TV right now. That's the only information I have on this case. And other than, hearing things here and there about, Richard Allen, but I've never watched a single YouTuber talk about it. I knew nothing other than 2 girls were killed. I never followed it. Just based on the last 2 hours, that is my conclusion. And Elvis is involved. Whether he did the actual killing or not, I don't know, but he's definitely involved. And that is my entire conclusion of what happened.
So off the record, we need to talk one day, and Kumi knows. She's telling me to be careful, and she's right. But there are people, or there's some higher ups that have done some things, and I don't want to, that are probably involved, that are higher up, like maybe in government, or we're in government, and now maybe just attorneys that might be involved as well. So I think it goes a lot higher than little Richard Allen, in my opinion. But whether it's ritualistic or not.
But to blame higher ups is usually not. To say that they may have looked the other way, yes. But to say that they're involved in a ritualistic killing, I don't think so.
But what if they're into human trafficking or something like that?
I don't believe that at all.
I'm not saying that person is into human trafficking, but I mean, like, if somebody was, in general speaking.
But that has nothing to do with them because they were murdered.
Well, what I'm saying is, oh wait, can you hear me?
I can hear.
Okay, because my computer stopped. If somebody was into being okay with that kind of stuff and open to like human trafficking, and why would this be out of the why would being murdering somebody for like their kid for revenge and stuff like that because maybe their parent was into stuff and owed them some money or something. I don't know. I better stop where I'm at because I don't want to get in trouble. But I'm just saying that there are so many other possibilities that go along with it that it's crazy, Laura. It's crazy.
If
There's
his
so much.
attorneys, hold on. If his attorneys end up dead,
No,
then
not his
it's
attorneys.
a problem. His old attorneys. If they end up dead, then that's a problem. But this guy that committed suicide that made the leak, how did he die?
I don't know. They haven't said how he died. If there was a note, I don't know any of that.
How do you know he committed suicide?
That's the word on the street. I don't know if it was. I don't think it wouldn't have been in his obituary.
Okay, but
So I don't know. Now Kumi's saying he was killed. No one knows. Cover up. Could be Kumi. I don't know.
Kumi, that's what I was thinking. Like, do we know for sure it was a suicide? Could he have been killed?
Could have been. Now he had 4 tours in Afghanistan, so I mean, I'm sure he had some, PTSD.
How do we know he's even dead?
Don't know. I mean, I wasn't there for the funeral, so I don't know. There's
Where?
an obit. Well, we never even got an obit for Ron Logan, so how do we know he's dead?
That's what I'm saying. How do we know his people are really dead?
We don't.
No. To kill oneself for pics. 1 tour in Afghanistan was enough to freak people out. Something made him want to get these photos out there before he died, if he did kill himself. There's an obituary of Fortson. I don't know. See, when there's a conspiracy, and people have to remember this, when you have a conspiracy, even if you have police involved or this one involved or that one involved, it's not going to be 30 people. You're going to have 1 or 2 people, like a policeman that's corrupt. The whole precinct isn't corrupt because of this one cop. You have 1 or 2 bad cops in an entire precinct of 200. That doesn't mean the entire precinct is corrupt. So to say, like, you have to remember, conspiracy is like a game of telephone. Not everybody is involved. There's only 1 or 2 people involved. There's only, let's say, 1 or 2 cops that are covering it up, or 1 or 2 governments it's not every single person that lives there. So I think that's where people are getting misguided, thinking that every single cop is corrupt, that every single law enforcement is corrupt, and that's just not reality. See, Kwame, I don't agree with that. I don't agree judges are involved and police are involved, and that's too much for my mind to take.
Well,
The odds that are so slim to none.
let me show you. There's a girl, and she was a lady of the night, and she got caught, or she put her the crime was on film when she didn't know who he was, and he was a political figure in the area, and she was afraid he was going to rob her. Well, he didn't rob her, but he actually did something else to her that was worse, and put his hands around her neck, and he wouldn't. He was wanted her and got psycho crazy. Anyway, to make a long story short, she ended up having to turn her video into the Indianapolis, one of the news stations, and he had to resign from his position. But so if you'd like, I could send you the her information. The Good Old Boys Club, yes. The city as a it's true, Nicole. I've never seen anything like it. But I'll send you her. She's the person. She has no problem sharing her information, and I will send it to you. And it is a bizarre shit show, and I'm not sure that it pertains to them, but there's a lot of the same players.
Yeah, but that just means that a politician hired a hooker. That happens every day.
Yeah, but he strangled her.
Okay, because he didn't want her to talk. That also happens every day. That's not that bizarre.
No, that he strangled her when he met her. Desiree, yes, they charged him with felony murder. You probably need to listen to her tapes.
Where are they?
They're on YouTube. Hold on. She put them on YouTube so he didn't kill her. The Jalen tapes. And the judge. The Diaries of a Mad, what'd she put? Of a Mad Escort. Jalen Rain.
All right, send it.
Yeah, I'm just got to get to the right one because when Jalen Rain. Oh. YouTube.
And you said he was charged?
No. There we go. I'm getting to her channel. Copy.
See, but how many murders happen in this little town?
Too many.
There
wasn't. The town, the county. Remember, I told you there was 4 little girls that were murdered by the arson 3 months before, and then these little girls, and then a Delphi police officer, quote quote, committed suicide from. I believe this is the weird part. If I remember correctly, the gun was in the back of his head, which makes no sense to me. What is his name? I wrote it down. Nate Miller. And then Stephanie Thompson, the law enforcement did the polygraphs. They killed her through arson. I mean, there's so many things. Now they're in the county. That's not just Delphi. That's in the county. There's still only like 3,000 people. All these people end up dead. And there's the FBI agent. I mean, there's so many people in this case.
All right, her videos say Alabama. A lot of her videos say Alabama calling.
That's probably where she was. That's probably where she was when she did the video. Let me go to. She has a playlist. Do part 1, Jalen and Judge and Jalen.
Yeah, she's got 8 videos.
You want to just watch the ones with the judge. Part 1, part 2, part 4. Anything that has the club, Lafayette. So 1 through 6 are her. You're going to want to do at least 1 through 6. Those are all about him in the club. the judge.
Okay, who's the judge?
I'll put it in Discord.
And this was 3 years ago.
Yes, that's when she came out and told her story.
So what does this judge have to do with Delphi?
You have to watch the tapes. I'm not saying it out loud. Melissa, no, it's not Hal. Yeah, Kumi, she's put him out to save her own life. I'm not saying anything, Kumi, don't worry. I'm not going to get killed. One second.
What county is Delphi in?
Carroll County.
Oh, it is Carroll? All right. Okay, he wasn't fired. He resigned.
Yep.
He teaches at Purdue University.
He also put the search warrant out for Ron Logan's house.
He served as a president of the Carroll County Bar Association, a member as a past president. He served as a chief deputy prosecuting attorney. He served board of directors, Rotary Club, Chamber of Commerce.
Now go and watch the tapes.
And I'm reading where he stepped down.
Oh.
This is all in when he stepped down. Senator Greg Nason to Governor Eric Holcomb, and will leave his position July 31st. Fouts first took to the bench when he was appointed to the position by Governor Mitch Daniels in 2010 and replaced retiring judge. He was reelected on November 4th, 14 for a term that expired on December 31st. Fouts filed to run another term earlier this year, but ultimately decided against serving another 6-year term. That was one article. Judge resigns after video of him with escort is posted online. Delphi. Mailed his resignation comes after a recent video of him at the home of an escort was posted on a website titled Diary of a Mad Escort, during which Fouts is seen kissing and touching the escort. Carroll County Sheriff confirmed the man in the video is Fouts. She's no longer an escort. Then he begins kissing her and touching her in a sexual manner while she is an escort. She told him if he wanted it to go further, he'd need to make an appointment. I never saw him again. Asked why she videoed that particular encounter, said his request to meet was odd, claiming to be someone important. I had been robbed a couple of times the week before. He got a hold of me through a fake Facebook account. So she asked her attorney what she should do to protect herself. The advice was to record the encounter. It was 2 years before I found out who it was, alleging that Fouts harassed her on social media. She said she recently posted the video because she wanted the public to know about the judge's behavior. This says nothing about strangling.
Watch the video.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what she says. This is what's been proven. There's nothing about strangling.
Well, you have to watch the video. I can't talk about anything else.
Oh.
But I'm not saying that that person is involved. I'm just saying that that was a possible. People thought that because of connections and because, Libby's dad and stuff.
See, honestly, I think that's totally reaching.
Could be.
Because, but I don't understand it. If the video shows her being strangled by him, then why isn't that shown? Why isn't that written in the video? I mean, in the write-up from the Indiana Journal, it just says that she recorded it due to him kissing and touching her in a sexual manner. That's it.
Doesn't talk about the strangling?
Nope, not at all.
Interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
It says nothing about strangling.
Kumi said watch the videos. It's volumes. I need to go. Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch it too, Kumi, because I want to see what is said. And I want to see why Liggett concealed information from Judge Diener.
Same judge handled Ron Logan's case, Garrett Kurt's case, and so many others.
And Garrett Kurtz ended up killing a person a year later, and then after that, another person 3 months after that.
Is he in jail?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, this judge was never charged with murder or anything, with attempted murder.
No, he's practicing as a lawyer.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe the strangling. I can't find that backed up anywhere in any.
I'm going to look and see what the heck that was about then as well, because that is what she said when she was on her on Sunny's channel too. So I need to find out what that's all about.
Yeah, I think she's full of shit. Because there is not. I'm looking at multiple articles. Not one of them says anything about strangling.
Huh.
This is all about that he was trying to have sex with her.
Well, that's not a big deal. Most politicians and well, let's say most men.
A hooker lie? Nah, never. Yeah, I don't believe her.
Well, girl, I am tired.
I find her
up since 5.
All right. Thank you for coming up, though. We gotta do a part 2.
Yeah, we need to do it when I have it I'll have it in a itinerary, all done up. So
okay. You're coming up. You did awesome. Not everyone can chat and talk, so don't try to follow me.
Okay. All right, girl.
All right.
Well, thank you for having me up. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm glad you came up. I learned a lot.
Okay, great. Right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right, girl.
All right. So yeah, I don't find this girl credible. Not Steph. I'm saying the hooker, I don't find her credible at all. I think she's looking for attention. Because I can't find one article that says anything about her being strangled. Not one. So I think she added that later on. And if anyone could show me an actual article that shows it, I'm right there. But try to find it, because I can't. So, all right, that's my conclusion. You guys heard my conclusion. Yes, she was awesome. Awesome, awesome. Great job, Steffa. I know she was nervous. Oh, what's this? All right, there are three sources to the leak: M, R, and Mark. The initial M is who previously worked on the defense team. M shared the crime scene photos with someone called R. R then shared these images with Mark. Mark then shared the images with MS with a promise that MS would report this to law enforcement. We do not know who R is, and MS purposely did not name this person. We will not allow speculation and names of who R is or might be at this time. Thank you. October 5th, 2023. A source sent MS graphic crime scene photos. MS does not share any details of the photos and have chosen not to say anything except that the photos were obviously from the crime scene. MS then called Ellie the next morning to report these leaked photos. They also reached out to the defense team to make sure they knew about the leak. At this point, they did not know where the leak came from. The person who sent the images to MS is named Mark. Mark received them from someone they call R. R was not the initial leak, but was close to someone called M who worked for the defense team and had leaked them to R. R was upset with the depiction of the F on the tree from court TV, so R leaked the actual F photo. See, you give me one day, I'm totally caught up to speed on this case. It didn't take much. R had been given vocal on social media in support of the defense in the past and has seemingly shared details he obtained from his leak on the defense team. Jerry Holman was the investigating detective on this leak. Holman initially thought it was a leak within law enforcement. MS thinks this upcoming hearing will be going over these leaks. Experts have indicated to MS that Gull could absolutely remove Rozzi and Baldwin from the case in this upcoming hearing, but could also give the defense a slap on the wrist. Trigger warning. R died by suicide last week. He was a young man with a wife and family. MS had never reached out to R. R was the person who received the images from M, who previously worked for the defense team. R did not work for the defense. My inside source, Desiree. I got an inside source here who sent me this to clarify. So the person who leaked it did not kill himself. He was a young guy with a wife and family. He did not work for the defense. That's interesting. But R had been vocal on social media in support of the defense and seemingly shared details that he obtained from his leak on the defense team. MS was completely shocked and giddy to see those photos. Who wouldn't be? Crime of the decade right in their hands. They open their mouths and everyone in the world is curious. I think you're spot on about how they handled it. If the leaked F photo was real, who gave Barbara McDonald that weird splatter illustration, and why did she believe it to be accurate? Who's Barbara McDonald? Who's Barbara McDonald? But they're saying they question her. Now, the whole thing is awful. Ah. Yeah, I don't know who Barbara McDonald is. That's why I'm asking you guys. MS hasn't leaked anything. They have gotten the court to release documents that should not have been sealed. If the court didn't redact them properly, that's their problem. Okay, Barb McDonald's a reporter. She now works for Court TV. Thank you, Sly Angel. Murder Sheet. Oh, MS is Murder Sheet. Murder Sheet issued a statement saying that M and Mark were not the same person, which is confusing. But they definitely said it was two different people. M is a former Baldwin employee. Mark is a non-Indiana resident YouTuber podcaster. I saw Rick Snay said that he knows Mark and didn't get it from him. But Mark's not the one that killed himself. R did. Just trying to clear up info. MS released since their episode was confusing. Interesting that Snay seems to have a different story. I need some AI help. I don't need AI help for this. I got my inside sources. See, now here's a question I do have, though. Why would the police need these photos? Why would the cops need a photo of this? That's what I don't understand. That's what I'm having a hard time with this one. Why would the cops need the photos? What would be the point of releasing it to the police? I can't believe you guys got me now into this case. I don't have time for this case. Gray Hughes has been doing lives talking about these photos and describing the crime scene and the stick placement, even doing drawings. This man is supposedly friends with Becky Patty and Kelsey German. If you go watch his lives after he receives the pictures, he's literally so excited someone sent him the leaked images. Also, he made sure to tell all his viewers that these were real pictures. And the defense document described the way the girls were laying dead was correct. He's sick. Crystal, I don't have time to go down rabbit holes in this case. There's not enough hours in the day. R committed suicide very recently. He committed suicide in military uniform. It's been confirmed that R did in fact commit suicide. Never cease to astonish what money can make people do. That's it. That's all I got. Thanks, Nodak. Think MS wants a white knight. The police already. Yeah, but I don't understand what the point of sending it to the police is. I don't know enough about the Odinism stuff, but I think it's more satanic. This just sounds satanistic to me. This just doesn't seem. It just doesn't seem like it's Odinism. It sounds like they needed virgins. I mean, like, what are you doing with somebody's blood? That's fucking weird. Yeah, but you have to remember, who would drain blood? Why would Odinism drain someone's blood? Unless somebody needed a blood transfusion. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, who drains someone's blood? That's, like, weird. You can't drink a whole body worth of blood. That's a lot of blood. I've only seen a photo that's been going around. It's possible that that was not the actual photo of the scene. But now with all this talk of leaked photos, it made me lean towards thinking it was a photo. YouTube Grizzly True Crime. I realize that everywhere I've seen a photo has been deleted. Didn't she say the police gave her the drawings? This seems to be correct. I don't know. This just sounds like a whole bunch of conspiracies. But no, do I think Richard Allen acted alone? No. The draining of blood from children is an Alex Jones conspiracy. No, but that's a fact, though. They really did drain her blood. So that's not like an Alex Jones thing. They actually did. But there was not a lot of blood around. So unless somebody needed a blood transfusion and needed her blood. But this was definitely not done by one person. No way, no how. How does that change everything? They were both two white girls. You know what I mean? It's not like they were black children. They were two white little girls. But that's where the conspiracy kid's blood was. Yeah, but they did take her blood. Her body was drained of blood. Virgins are pure, exactly. Well, white supremacist doesn't need to kill two white girls. Got leaked to other casters too. Grifter Gray Hughes, Reddit does not like Gray Hughes, described them while badgering watchers for money and interrupting his descriptions of the girls' bodies to play dancing tacos and cat cartoons. Fun for the whole family. They were taking a blood for a transfusion. The blood would me no good. I can't. True. Yeah, Libby's mom said she had no blood. It seems totally irresponsible that these creators are putting it out there. That this man took his own life over these photos when he's been deployed 4 times. You definitely need to listen to their episode. It's apparent you have not. I love Reddit. B, because of the throat. The only thing I want an answer to, honestly, why did they want the leaked ones to go to the police? Why would the police need them? That's the one question I have. It just doesn't make sense. Interesting. All right, but I'm going to get off. I've been on 3 hours. And I have to wrap some candles. So I will see you beautiful people tomorrow. Thank you so much, Kumi, for a super chat. Any PayPal cash apps I haven't checked. But I want to thank Steph for coming up. And we can do part 2 tomorrow. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to go through some stuff tomorrow and check it out. Police already saw them, exactly. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand why you would leak him to the police. It doesn't add up. You know what, Crystal? That's not a bad idea. A 24-hour stream, this case could be easy. Could definitely do a 24-hour stream on this case. No problem. So, all right. I will see you beautiful people tomorrow. Thank you to my amazing mods. Welcome new subscribers. And that's it. I will see you guys later. Peace.